First merch here on the 40 Years and 40 Beers podcast. We got some beer glasses.
In here.
Everybody see that? Nice little microphone on there. Got our 40 Years and 40 Beers hat. We're really excited.
Got the t-shirts.
Massey's got t-shirts. All our merch is available on our TikTok page. Please feel free to go on, support the podcast. And new drink today. This is white wine and Mountain Dew. We're going to call this the Ecto Cooler. All right. I want to give a shout out to the Ridley Hockey League. We were supposed to be there today. And at the end of the day, we sponsored them, right? We sponsored two. We sponsored.
That was
some
the
holes.
Important part is to donate to the charity.
Correct.
Everything else was just icing on the cake.
4 or 5 years ago, Chuck Clapper, Ridley resident, I guess his kids were into street hockey, and there was really nowhere for anybody to go in Ridley. So there's an area in Woodland that there was like a rundown hockey rink, and he put a ton of time into this place for the Ridley community. Now they
fixed it on his own?
Pretty much,
wow.
Yeah. Him and some other dads, I believe. They put a lot of their own time in, a lot of local fundraising. And then from just these few dads, the Ridley Hockey League formed. And the best part about it is it's not just for kids in Ridley. It's for anybody from Delaware County, Philadelphia, anywhere they want to play. And it's turned into, I believe they have at least 6 teams in each division. And it's growing by the year. And it's just a great opportunity for kids, because when was the last time you saw kids really playing street hockey?
Yeah. I think it's awesome. Yeah, I saw on their Facebook page, Established 21.
Yeah. So 4 years old.
What they've been able to do in such a short period of time is amazing.
Yes, it went from an area that was a rundown old hockey rink with weeds growing out of the asphalt, to now it's
an organization.
It's pretty much the premier street hockey, deck hockey league for outdoor in Delaware County.
Ed Oliver has their own app. At the top of the app, it says the Ridley Hockey Outing, and it gives all the names of the guys playing golf and which team they're on.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah.
So big shout out to them. Also want to give a shout out to my buddy Connor Scanlon. Connor Scanlon plays college baseball for Fairfield University. Local Ridley kid, went to the Haverford School. I know his father, the family really well. And he's playing in the first round of the College World Series today. So it goes from 64 to 16 to 8. It's a big accomplishment. Great young man. Does a lot of things the right way. His dream was to play college, Division I college baseball, and he got there, and they're in the College World Series his first year. So it's a dream come true. So big shout out to Connor. Good luck to Fairfield University, and we'll be rooting for you guys.
That's awesome. Good luck, Connor.
Yeah, what's been going on with you?
We're headed to Beach Plum in Cape May. They have it's kind of like Airbnb, but there's a company that has 5 or 6 cottages. So we have our own house. It comes with bikes, and you have a little barn. You know what I mean? You pick your own eggs in the morning and stuff like that. April was trying to find, we don't just want to go to a hotel or, I skeeve Airbnb still a little bit. So this was kind of in between, where there's a series of cottages. It's almost like an Airbnb, but so we're going to go try that out. We're going this weekend, Beach Plum in Cape May. So I'm looking forward to that little vacation before I got a big project at work starting in a couple of weeks. So I'm trying to get all my PTO in before all hell breaks loose.
Yeah, I got an Airbnb story for you that just happened, actually.
Really?
Not to me. The names and faces of this story have been changed to protect the innocent. So my cousin, who lives in Florida, just got married recently. And unfortunately, I just wasn't able to get down there. So my one uncle, family of 8, they rent the Airbnb. Everything's great. It's got a pool. In Florida.
Yeah.
Everything's great. It's got a pool. Everybody loves the house. They're relaxing for a couple days while they're down there for the wedding. It's a little mini vacation.
Yeah.
Day of the wedding. Everybody wakes up. Bed bug infestation.
Oh, my God.
Then the owner of the Airbnb tries to say that it's not his fault. He's charging them. He's keeping all their money. They said they were going to check out because they're going to find a new place. They're not going to sleep in the Airbnb the next night, right? You got freaking bed bugs everywhere. Yeah. The guy goes, well, you didn't check out by noon. You're still there. It's 1:00. So now I'm charging you for this day.
Another night.
My poor cousin's on the phone with the guy, basically saying, "The fuck you are! I'm going to come kill you."
What was he saying? They brought the bugs?
I imagine, right? That's what he's probably thinking. You know, they were there for 12 hours, cuz. How did the infestation come from somebody who's been there for 12 hours?
Bro, I can't even. That's
Can you
so
imagine?
horrible.
Now, here's the best part. My poor cousin didn't even make it to the wedding.
Yeah,
Flew
you got
down to Florida.
bed bugs crawling all over you, chewing on your arm. That's horrible, man.
I've never been in that situation. Have you?
No. I had a family member that had them when Julia was first born, but that was it. But it's like you got to wrap your mattresses. Well, not at the Airbnb. You got to get out of it. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? But like the crib, you're jammed up.
Listen, I know somebody who had them so bad that they had to. They were in the electrical outlets.
Wow.
Did you know that's a thing?
No.
Yeah, they can get in the electrical outlets.
And we like just because like it was like a distant thing for us, and was like, oh, so and so had bed bugs, but it was like right at the time that Julie was born, and like when it was our second child, so like nothing's double. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like it's harder. It's way harder than just double everything when you have your second kid.
Well, you know what? I'm going to stop to cut you off. I'm going to stop you there. I actually feel like it gets a little bit easier because, and you've heard me say this before, like, once you realize your child's not made of glass, things get much, much easier. Yes. And I feel like with the second kid, you really realize that. You know what I mean?
Falling into a groove from a parenting standpoint gets a little easier. But it's not double work. It's more than double because they're not napping at the same time, they're not eating at the same time, they're not pooping at the same time.
Sure.
And we had April was either pregnant or breastfeeding for like 10 years straight. We had them all back to back. So like when Julia was a girl, so like I was afraid to change her diaper in the beginning and all. So like when you're getting in that mode of like
like you didn't you were like of appropriateness, like you didn't know, like
yeah,
okay.
Like I can't.
I get what you're saying.
I can't do any of that. I didn't change her diaper for like the first 90 days, but like when you're making all those adjustments and now you got a girl in the house, like our first child was a boy, you know what I mean? So like you think about that stuff and like it kind of always stuck with us, and like even still to this day when we go to a hotel or anywhere. Like we're lifting up mattresses, we're lifting up cushions. We put all of our bags on the countertop in either the bathroom or the kitchen area. Like we still always check immediately when we get into a room because like it's just like some things stick with you. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it was never even a thing for us. But like you just like you remember a sentence somebody gave you like years ago. You know what I mean? Certain things just stick with you. But that we always check when we hit someplace.
I remember as one of the greatest memories I have with my father's 2014. I took him out to Notre Dame. We went out to see Notre Dame versus Rice. We flew out. That was a nightmare in itself because we had to fly from here to Detroit. Okay.
Oh
so then we get into Detroit. Detroit's only 127 miles away from Indiana. All right. So we had to fly from Detroit, Michigan to Fort Wayne, Indiana, rent a car and drive from Fort Wayne to South Bend.
Wow.
We get on a 50-person commuter plane from Detroit.
Puddle jumper.
I don't even know if this is considered a puddle jumper. Have you ever been on a 50-person commuter plane?
No.
All right.
I'm deathly afraid. But
so remember what I said.
I'm familiar with the small ones.
126 miles. The flight was 27 minutes. So you can't get up very high in that amount of time. Our cruising altitude was 12,000 feet. You know what it's like at 12,000 feet? My head was between my legs and I was hyperventilating.
It's worse or better?
Worse. The plane.
Was it because you didn't have a high altitude, or was it because you were on a tiny plane?
It was because of the high altitude. Like you get higher. That's why one of the reasons you get higher is because it's more stable when you're flying.
But you can't get that high with a little plane, can you?
Well, it's the distance.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean? You don't have enough time. Like literally.
The trajectory to go
I'm not kidding, Mass.
Yeah.
We went up, leveled off for 3 minutes, and came back down. That was the flight.
Yeah.
All right. So we get there. I rent a Motel 6. All right. Because game day weekends in South Bend, even a Motel 6 is like $300 for the night.
Jesus.
So we're looking online. I'm looking at the pictures.
It's just the two of you?
Just the two of us. So I'm online, looking at the pictures. I'm like, all right, this place looks all right. No problem. We're just going to be there to sleep for 2 nights.
Yeah.
We get to the hotel. As soon as we walk in, there's freaking plexiglass everywhere, right? I'm like, what the hell is going on? Dude, I opened the door to the room. It's literally just like two beds kind of next to each other.
Like a jail cell.
The comforters had burns in them. All right.
Yeah.
There was a stand-up shower that was in the bathroom as soon as you opened the door. Like you would open the door and almost walk into the shower. Right. I still didn't get bed bugs at this place.
Yeah.
So it amazes me how this is even a thing. Like, do people see them? Like, are you sitting there one day, you're watching TV and you look down and, Fred's like, hello.
I don't know, man. I don't know. I don't know if you have to transport them from an encounter with someone else or they just start in the home. I have no idea. But and maybe I don't know. Maybe it's not as bad when you live through it, or if it's your job to exterminate them. But like just the term bed bugs just has like such a negative connotation to it. Like
I'd rather have a bed full of ticks.
Yeah, you just I don't know. The whole thing just
Have you seen Gronk or whatever the hell Grok, right? Whatever it is it?
No, yeah, I know who you're talking about. But
all right, so all of the politicians use Gronk, right? They all they use. I mean,
wait, Gronkowski or Grok?
Grok, excuse me.
Okay,
Grok
is
Elon's artificial AI.
Okay, yeah.
So all the politicians, use Twitter or X.
Yeah.
Okay.
X. Right.
Well, now Grok is literally fact checking all the people who have conspiracy theories. So you have all of these people who are crazy on the right who are like, yeah, I'm a Christian. We need to have nothing but Christianity in this country. I live my life by a moral code. And then next thing you know, it'll have Grok under there going, yeah, this politician really doesn't live by their life by Christianity. They're not a good person. They're not moral. Like it just keeps calling everybody out. Well, here's the best part. I didn't know you could do this. So let's say
that's fantastic.
Who's somebody that you can't stand? Doesn't matter. Just name somebody.
Me, Samuel L. Jackson.
Okay. You go on Samuel L. Jackson's X account and he posts something. I guess it's not a tweet anymore, right? What the hell's it called?
It has to be a tweet. I don't know what the X version of a tweet is. It has to be.
So he tweets something.
Or just a post. Maybe.
You can then reply and go, hey, Grok, is everything here Samuel L. Jackson saying true? And then Grok will reply to Samuel L. Jackson's post.
I love it. I cannot wait till it takes over my whole life. I don't want to do any more work. I want Grok or I've been using Gemini a lot, which is cool.
Well, that's the whole thing too. I'm starting to realize this. People are getting nervous about AI replacing jobs. The one thing I'm starting to realize is there's still always going to have to be people to manage the AI.
Yeah.
It doesn't operate on its own. Well, not even that. I just mean you still need to tell the AI what to do. You need to give it a command. You need to.
Not for long, though. Now you do. Did you hear Gary Vee said that in our lifetime, humans are going to marry AI robots?
I believe a robot that is fully AI will marry a human and vice versa for real in your lifetime at scale.
And he
I'm not
said,
happy about this.
Like, look at the Tesla.
Like a real doll that people are having sex with?
Look at the Tesla 3, right? Now, imagine 20 years from now, I hope that's in our lifetime, right? We're only in our 40s. 20, 30 years from now, imagine synthetic flesh being put over top of that robot and all the advancements in the technology of artificial intelligence. He's saying, like, in 20, 30 years from now, our kids are going to be dating and married to AI robots that have synthetic flesh and
they're going to get their heads ripped off in bed.
Artificial intelligence. But then he said that even if people aren't comfortable with that, he said that the AI robot, and this goes back to our last episode 10. Shout out to Jordan Travers and Awake Therapy. But he said that even if you're not comfortable with the AI thing being your spouse, you would be in a throuple. So you and your wife would be in a throuple with the AI thing,
So when things are going rough, you can just go mosey off with the robot.
They're constantly analyzing everything you say and do, everything she says and does, and it becomes the voice of reason. It makes sure that you stay in your marriage and that you never have any issues, or that you could it could minimize them as much as possible.
So you know what I call all this?
What?
Control.
It was just,
and who's
Gary
controlling
V
the AI?
Speculating. None of this exists yet.
I get it, but all of this is insane. Think about it. You're going to have
But what's the difference between my wife and I going to see Jordan or having an artificial intelligence version of Jordan follow us around the house like Rosie?
All right. So in that respect,
no. Answer the question.
In that respect, there may not be. There may not be.
And if your intent is
there's no morality. When you're talking to a person, right? A person has empathy. A person has these robots aren't going to have it. You can program them to have empathy.
The reason I bring that up is because I like that throuple idea more than it being your partner, because you could turn it off when you don't want it.
Okay.
You could turn it back on when you want it.
Let me give you a scenario.
Go ahead.
Okay.
Hit me.
It's Friday night. You and April had a few ecto coolers. Yeah. All right. Go upstairs, get a little alone time. Kids are out of the house. This is 15 years from now. All right. Yeah. You're still 60 doing your thing.
Yeah.
All right.
God bless.
Well, now, I don't know.
Rosie
the robot. All right. Can hear you upstairs and gets jealous of April. And comes upstairs and rips her goddamn head off while she's on top of you. This is the shit this is possible.
Yes, but your neighbor could fucking bust in and rip the head off too. I mean,
again, the neighbor, unless they're a complete sociopath, which is possible,
the dog
has empathy, has morale, because the dog's not coming up. All right.
Let's go back to that. Don't make me post.
No.
Insert a clip from
what I'm saying
one.
is that the dog's not going to rip your head off while you're having fun with your wife.
Why can't you turn Rosie off before time?
What if you forget to turn Rosie off?
Yeah.
All of these things are variables that are going to affect society later.
Okay. So nothing comes without a risk.
So what happens now? Next, hold on, don't stop me. Next, we're going to have AI lawnmowers. Don't even get me started with this shit. Remember Maximum Overdrive, the Stephen King movie?
No, I don't think
where all
the
trucks and the soda machines and everything came to life? Because the soda machines were spitting out full cans of soda at people, killing them.
B-roll, memory to myself.
Yeah, we're killing them. Literally, the soda cans were going boom and hitting people in the head and killing them.
There's risk with everything, right? Our sons are going to start driving soon. Somebody could hit them.
But that's a necessary risk.
It's not necessary.
What, to drive?
They could take public transportation.
Yeah,
they could take Uber.
I think driving or getting around or being able to transport yourself places is much more important than AI.
How do you transport yourself?
By car.
With a computer on wheels. So my car updated itself yesterday. Me and Christian had to drop something off at UPS. My car updated itself. We couldn't leave the parking lot for 15 minutes. Everything.
It controls you.
The juice.
That controls you not being able to leave.
The juice is worth the squeeze. And if you opt into these things and you get value out of it, you're fine with that trade-off.
Now, what happens to the people who, let's say this did happen within 10 years, okay? You're still going to have people like our age who, we were the last generation to experience both, right? We were the last generation to experience pre-technology and then the technology boom. So there's still going to be people who are in the workforce who don't have any idea how to really manage AI, be computer savvy.
Look at all the people older than us now who can't even work a phone.
Are all those people going to be out of a job?
Maybe.
And then what happens to your economy?
I'm not naming any names. I'm not naming any names. One of our friends in the group chat, I spoke to him the other day. There was an issue where there was an employee in his company that had access to financial stuff, and someone he said phishing, but I don't think he understands completely what the difference is. There's something called social engineering where you you'll call somebody up and you'll say, hey, I'm from the security department and I'm calling, because we saw a virus on your machine
Yep.
and I need you to give me your password.
Yeah.
When you give them the password, they didn't hack anything. They didn't do anything
No, you gave it to them.
wrong. You gave it to them, right? So this person was socially engineered into offering their credentials, and then because of the financial responsibility they had and the access they had, a lot of money was stolen. And so, it's just like anything else. I mean, that's how all these things happen. Like it can happen today. So now this woman was there for a very long time and she is probably out of a job, right? After celebrating 20, 30 years
Because
with
of
the
a mistake?
organization. Because of a mistake. But my point is, you and I probably wouldn't have made that mistake, right? So
Correct.
I'm assuming this woman
So
is
she's
older
older,
than us.
obviously. Yeah.
And that's what I'm saying. Like my mom doesn't know how to work the phone. My son knows how to work the phone better than I do. And his kids are probably going to be even more advanced. Like they all get they all mutate like freaking gremlins. Every generation gets stronger.
Well, here's the other thing too. Think about me, for example. I'm a sales director.
You're horrible with fucking technology.
No, I'm really not. I'm just not as advanced as you are. But I work in sales. It's all I've done my entire life. It's provided me and my family with a pretty damn good life. Am I going to be at a point in 10 years where I'm obsolete?
We all might be, but you have to, that's the point. Like that's why he was drawing the comparison. It's better to be in the throuple with the robot than to have it be your spouse. It's better to use AI as leverage to become a phenomenal salesman than be worried about it taking over your job altogether, right? We have to find a way to use it to our advantage so that we remain on top.
Fair enough.
And not be afraid, because if you're afraid, you're going to let it take over.
Okay.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
So it's cute that now you let it help you write emails, but in the future, it's going to be making sales calls for you. Like I think it's a joke, but like there's a TikTok video where the woman calls her husband at work and he's got the AI assistant. But the AI assistant is so lifelike, she thinks he's got a broad working for her, and she didn't tell him.
That's phenomenal.
So, but the robot is like staying on course. Like, Tom can't get to the phone right now. I'll let him know you called. What's your number? I'm his wife. He's got my number. I still need your number. You know what I mean? Like she wasn't breaking character, and like then the broad. But it was an ad.
But here's
for
the thing:
the AI assistant.
That's one of the things that bothers me is the AI doesn't have the ability to break character. Right.
Not yet.
So it goes back
in your scenario where Rosie gets mad, gets jealous. They will eventually.
I win. If the robots have the ability to get jealous eventually, we should not have them on this planet. If they have the ability to have emotions and get angry, and no.
The same guy that I was just telling you about with the hockey with his son, his wife's car caught on fire the other day. So the car, you just talked about how great the car was. Petroleum, right? Not my electric. I get it. But the car is a tool. It's a necessary tool. You just said that a few moments ago. And this broad's car spontaneously combusted like fucking AJ in The Sopranos. And she wasn't on a pile of leaves.
What type of car was it?
I don't know. But anything, I have pictures of it. Anything.
But the car wasn't deliberately trying to kill her, Mess.
But what's the result's the same.
So
the result's the same.
It's not apples to apples.
If the car had a mind and lit itself on fire, it's the same end result.
Okay, so what I'm talking about is Rosie the robot literally sitting there doing the dishes and hearing a moan and going, you know what? He's mine. And coming up and killing your wife.
But my point is, it's not really a new problem. These accidents already happen today with technology that was invented 50 years ago, and we just don't think about it.
Here's the other thing. All it takes is some nut job, right? Like, listen, Elon, let's be honest. Over the past year, we don't know.
5 minutes ago for the Samuel Jackson Twitter shit.
No, but I mean, over the past year, we don't know what the hell's going on with Elon, right? He is all over the place. You see these crazy looks in his eyes, like all kinds of crazy shit. He develops these Tesla robots. 10 years from now, they keep getting more
I
and
think
more.
he's got the Neuralink in him.
So hold on.
Do you know about that?
Yeah, it keeps getting more and more and more advanced. Right now, the flesh, the synthetic flesh comes out.
He was making that up, though.
I'm just saying, this is an example. All right. Now, Elon's sitting in Elonville one day, right? He's got all 50 kids around him, and he goes, you know what? I don't want any other husbands in the world because I want to make more little Elons. And he hits a button, and all the freaking robots go and kill all the husbands. That could happen.
If you're worried about it, whack him out. I mean, it could happen. Anything could happen. Because
whoa, real fast. We're only kidding. We're not going to whack Elon. No, Secret Service will be here.
But I'm saying, like, okay, it's all about perspective. You have to just be comfortable with wrapping your mind around something. Let me finish. Hold on. Let me take a sip, and then I got something. There's a giant ball of fire billions of miles away in the sky that keeps us warm.
Not man-made. Not man-made. Not man-made.
No, we're done with the man-made now. I'm talking about wrapping your brain around the ideas of certain things and perspective. There's a giant ball of fire in the sky that keeps us warm from billions of miles away. And everybody just you just grow up. Oh, that's the sun. You just grow up expecting that that's normal behavior.
Okay.
That doesn't sound crazy to you that there's a giant ball of fire in the sky a billion miles away that keeps us warm, and when that fire goes out, we're fucked?
A few moments later.
I need you to concede that there is the possibility that with all of this new technology comes great responsibility, and that the people behind it may not be as responsible as we hope.
1,000%. But again, it's not a new problem. How many foods get recalled all the time for fucking pesticides and shit?
But the food can't come to life and kill you.
But you keep jumping around. I don't know how you operate your day. Your last sentence was the people behind it might not be as responsible as you think they are.
Correct.
The people behind our food aren't always as responsible as we think they are. That's what I'm saying. You get tons of recalls on food, E. coli, all kinds of shit. How many recalls have you had on cars in your lifetime? The people behind them aren't. That's what I'm saying. It's not a new problem, and that's why I use the fireball in the sky analogy. You have to wrap your head around the fact that this is just another facet of the same thing that's been happening forever. It's not a new problem. Yes, the artificial intelligence could wind up creating brand new problems for us in the future, but the fact of somebody misusing something that they control for the world, that's not new.
No, it's not. I mean, look, at the end of the day, I don't think we're going to agree on this. So let's just end this whole topic with, listen, when the robots come and kill us all, I'll be correct. And then we'll address that at a later episode.
I'll be wrong.
All right.
But, and I do think I'm totally going to be on the wrong side, but I'm saying that until that day,
I think you have a fair point.
If it's helping you, that's the trade-off.
No, you have a fair point. Anything can kill us at any given time, right? You can be killed by an escalator.
That's what I'm saying.
I hear what you're saying there, but you know what I mean?
Not a bullet, an escalator.
But we're also the escalators.
We're not helping our chances.
The escalators aren't getting more advanced by the day, where everybody's in such a rush, especially tech people. Engineers, right? Engineers who went to MIT, they know this is the next big boom.
Coders, everything.
Correct.
Yeah.
So everybody is rushing to be first, and I don't think anybody's asking the. Ready?
There's controls in place. First of all,
listen, just hear me out here. Everybody is asking the question: can we do this? Could we do this? Nobody's asking, should we?
Well, I don't know that that's entirely true because there are a lot of controls in place that I see. Like I think I use it and interact with it a lot more than you do. And you have to really go out of your way to create an image of a celebrity in their likeness. it won't, like, you can't just say, make me a picture of Hulk Hogan. You can't just say that. You'd have to say, make me a picture of a 6'2" gentleman with blonde hair and a white handlebar mustache that has a red bandana, and it says the letters HU space L space. Like, you have to really go out of your way to have it recreate the likeness of a celebrity. It won't do that on its own. No platform will. Yet, right. And well, that's the part that everybody's worried about, is when will the AI override its own rules?
It's coming.
There's a game that they play online with different celebrities called G.O.A.T Talk. Have you seen that?
No, I haven't.
I caught it the other day with Ben Affleck and who's the guy? He was the right-hand man in Walking Dead. He plays Punisher.
Oh, Barenthal. John
Barenthal. They're in The Accountant 2 together. So whatever it was, VH1 or CNN, whoever has this game, they bring on different celebrities to play the game. And the episode I caught the other day was them two, and it's called G.O.A.T Talk. And they just have a stack of cards on the table, and it's like it asks a question, and then they have to respond. So I thought it would be cool if we did it. So, like, what's your GOAT comeback line in an argument with your wife?
I win.
Now I always go to you're just like your father or just like your mother, like with what like whatever she's doing or whatever I see.
I used to say that, and I've decided to stop doing that.
Yes, it's horrible. It's a bad idea. What's your GOAT one-liner from a movie?
GOAT one-liner from a movie. So mine,
I got 100 of them.
So mine is Major League. All right. Forget about the curveball, Ricky. Give him the heater.
I've been trying to find a way to sample The Godfather in a hook for a song, and like at this point in time, my GOAT one-liner would be, "It's business, Sonny," and he's taking it very personal.
I like that. See, I also think though there could be some from like one of my favorite movies of all time is Snatch.
Yeah,
I think there are 25 one-liners.
That's the thing. You can't just have one GOAT one-liner from a movie.
You know, think about when they're starting to buy the caravan at first, and Tommy's like, "What's the matter with this one?" And Turkish pulls the door. He's like, "Oh, nothing, Tommy. It's tip top." And he's like, and then
Donnie Brasco, Goodfellas, Casino. It never ends.
Donnie Brasco, the kitchen scene is one of the best scenes ever. Come on.
All
those Goombas of Brooklyn, all they know is Manigut. They don't know about this Coco Bun.
Yeah. And it's pinch or punch. He's like, pinch. Did I say punch? No, you said punch. Sometimes you don't make no fucking sense, Donnie. My Uncle Dave was telling me a story about him and his friend on a boat, and I just repeated this morning you go to the bow, I'll stay at the stern. You know?
You know where the bow is? Go.
Yeah. Go to the bow. You disgust me. GOAT celebrity to get drunk with.
GOAT celebrity to get drunk with.
I'm gonna go with Vince Vaughn.
I can see that.
Could you imagine the pictures if I grew my hair back out and got rid of the goatee? It would be hysterical. Cuz
Harry Callis.
Who's that?
Former announcer of the Phillies. Who was there for years.
Ooh. Are we putting him in the celebrity category?
Oh yeah, he's a celebrity.
Oh
yeah, absolutely.
Okay. Why him?
Just because I would love to get drunk with them and hear all the stories about everything. Yeah, I would love that.
That's dope. GOAT reason you got in trouble at school.
I just couldn't sit still. Like I was just, and it wasn't on purpose. I was very outgoing and sociable, and for a while I thought I was always there to socialize as opposed to be there learning.
So what? Talking then? Talking.
Now I went to school. We still had nuns. Like I remember seeing some crazy stuff at St. Mary's. Like,
dog, we went to the same school. What are you talking about? Like,
I only went for 1 year.
Yeah, but I'm saying.
But you didn't have nuns. Did you have nuns at St.
Yeah, Sister Fulgenette.
Did they beat you with the ruler?
No,
the yardstick
with a ruler.
We got beat with the ruler. And I remember one time.
But our nun was first or second grade. So by the time you got there, we didn't have. I don't think we had nuns anymore.
Because when I was in first grade or second grade, there was a girl who had an accident. She's in first grade. She peed herself. They put newspapers under her like she was a dog.
Oh my God! At Mary's?
Yeah.
That's nuts.
Is that not insane?
Yeah. We used to. I don't know if it was before or after you got there, but I went to I can't remember. I went to Boston. I think I went to Boston with my cousin Noelle and her parents, and we brought back firecrackers. And I took them to recess, and me and Dave were letting off firecrackers at recess. I got in trouble for that, and I don't know.
At 62nd and Grays, or Greenway, they probably thought there were gunshots going on.
Excuse me. And then another time, me and Dave and Daddy, we carved our names into our arms. You know how you get the pencil sharpener?
Yep.
It was just a razor and a screw on a little triangular piece of plastic.
Yeah.
So we unscrewed the razor from the plastic, and we carved our names into our arms with the razor. And if you remember, like, we had uniforms. So in the winter, you would have a sweater on.
Yeah.
So they were covered. But I'm pretty sure it was summer, and they made us wear the sweaters in the summer to cover our arms because, like, they were so disgraced. My mom was pissed. So those are the two. I never really got in trouble much in high school. Those were the two. Grade school. Those are my GOAT get in trouble stories.
Yeah, I didn't get in trouble much in high school. I mean, West didn't really put up with a lot of stuff. You know, so you kind of had to.
Well, there were at Newman with all boys. Like some kids got in fights here and there, but like there were no girls to impress. So things were.
I can't even
imagine
chill. What that was like, where you didn't have to do your hair, you didn't have to like.
Dog, I had a fro like this. I have to find a picture. I had a fro like this. My fro was so thick and high, I would put my pencil and pens in the afro.
It's so
and go
crazy.
to class.
Like, you didn't have to worry about how you look because there were no girls there.
You would go in and you would leave and come in with a hat on, and then when you got there, you were just a hot mess.
That's so crazy to me.
Teeth and deodorant. That's all I would do. My hair would be all over the place. What is the GOAT fast food item that doesn't exist anymore?
The GOAT fast food item that doesn't exist anymore. I can tell you around here anyway what doesn't exist anymore. The GOAT fast food item that doesn't exist anymore is the Checkers Champ Burger with cheese.
Oh. Does Checkers exist anymore?
I don't know.
The one in South Philly's gone. That's the only one I knew of. Where else
so
would there
you
be?
can get Checkers fries like at the supermarket.
Oh, right,
and put them in the oven or the air fryer. That's another game changer. The
air fry. My mom was over the other day. She's like, "You got to show me how to use it." I said, "350, 10 minutes, everything." Yeah. Everything is 350 for 10 minutes.
Make sure something. You got to make sure you take the smoke detector down.
I put it next to the oven.
Okay.
And I put the fan on. The mushroom cheddar burger from Wendy's. It only used to come out around October, and I haven't seen it in a couple years. That was my shit, dog.
You know what? I want to change my answer.
Go ahead.
Real pizza pretzels like they used to have in Southwest.
Oh, yeah.
Where it wasn't like the frozen, it was the real like federal pretzels.
Go to like a little mom and pop store.
Yeah, Delia's Dugout, and they put actual American cheese on it and then put it in the microwave.
Melt it, yeah.
I remember I would eat for dinner because I was always at Finnegan's. For dinner, I would have a pizza pretzel and an Arctic Splash iced tea.
Yeah. Yeah, that's good. I mean, that's got to make it into the fit. It's microwavable. The sauce was made ahead of time, but it's microwavable.
Yeah. They got to melt the cheese.
Yeah. I think we talked about this in one of our last episodes. GOAT celebrity cameo in a movie or show. We were saying it was
Matt Damon.
Scotty doesn't know.
Yeah, that is the greatest cameo in movie history.
And that song is so catchy. Second greatest movie cameo.
Second greatest. This actually could be 1 and 1A between Matt Damon and Eurotrip. And this is probably considered a semi-cameo because he probably has more lines and more screen time than what a cameo would actually be. Tom Cruise in Tropic Thunder.
Oh, yeah.
Remember when he's dancing at the end?
Yeah, the bloopers at the end were better than his appearance in the show.
It was fantastic.
Yeah. No, that's a good one.
There's a movie. Okay, ready? It's 2025. That movie comes out today.
Oh.
And Robert Downey Jr. is playing a black guy.
No, done.
Would Robert Downey Jr. ever be seen on the face of the earth again?
No.
And is that not ridiculous?
Yeah, but you get brainwashed a little bit into thinking the movie was ridiculous.
Yeah, it is. The movie is ridiculous. That's the whole point, right? That's the premise.
But in a negative way, though, not in a funny way.
But you know what I mean? Like, and listen, this isn't I don't even want to get into this topic completely, but in today's world, you have Dave Chappelle, right, making fun of trans people, making fun of white people, and I laugh my friggin' ass off when I see it. But then, God forbid, Tropic Thunder comes out today.
Yeah, but I also laugh at Italian jokes, at autistic jokes. Like you have to, if you don't, you either laugh at it all or it bothers you.
Correct.
It's allowed to bother you, but you can't you can't go to great lengths to stop somebody from doing their thing. You're allowed to be aggravated and upset and pissed off at something.
Yeah, no, I agree. I just think people get too upset easily nowadays. Like, you know what upsets me? Finding out somebody in my family has cancer. Right. Finding somebody lost their job. Things like that. Things that are actually worth getting upset over.
Yeah. Right, exactly. GOAT album to play start to finish.
Jay-Z, The Black Album.
That's a good one. That's a really good one. You know who the major figures are, right?
Yeah.
So Ab Lava and Spade, they formed a little group by themselves recently. A couple years ago, maybe like 22, I want to say 21, 22, 23. Spade came home from jail a while ago, and they made an album together called Glory. And
shout out to Spade and Wallow.
Yeah. No, so Gilly and Wallow are cousins. Spade and Lava are their friends.
Yeah.
Wallow wasn't actually in the group, but Gilly, Lava, Spade, and a couple other guys are part of Major Figures. But just as a duo, Lava and Spade, Lava actually, he was with the Clips for a while. He writes for Kanye. He's no joke, but Lava and Spade formed a little duo, and they came out with an album called Glory. And Glory is phenomenal. Like, I mean, I've always loved them since we were kids, but I can listen to it from start to finish, no skips. It's very enjoyable to me, but it's super low key. It's not even on Apple Music. Like, I had to find it on YouTube Music. But I follow them, so like I knew it existed. And now they're coming out with the sequel, which is called Glorified, pretty soon. But I would say that's a sleeper. That's like a rare thing that I wouldn't think would be possible for me. But Life After Death.
Yeah.
Life After Death. There's no skips on Life.
I mean, there's a couple on
That's
there.
A classic album. That might be the best. I think it might be the best hip hop album of all time.
It's possible. And because I was even just thinking now, like, you know what? I think Jay-Z, he has a ton of albums, but Jay-Z has the most albums, in my opinion, that you can listen to straight through.
Correct.
Like I just said the Black Album, then it hit me right away. Like, you know what? The Dynasty you can listen to all the way through.
Doubt, Volume 1. I love Kingdom Come.
Yeah. See, I hate Volume 2.
Who?
Volume 2.
No,
and you know why? I hate Hard Knock Life.
Yeah.
I just, the whole time, I'm like, it reminds me of...
it's a little cheesy.
What's the other song where they had Joe look? Where they had Jay looking like Joe Camel? Ain't no.
Sunshine.
Sunshine.
Yeah.
I was like, when I think of Sunshine, I think of Hard Knock Life.
But yes, it's very cheesy. It's his most cheesy record compared to Sunshine. But like, it was a great idea.
Incorporating Annie, and now I get it.
That sample was unbelievable idea, and that might not even be attributed to him. It may be, the producer. But I would agree, as a full catalog, Jay has the least amount of skips per album. But played all the way through, I'm going Life After Death and or Glory. Right. GOAT pizza topping combination.
Pepperoni and onions.
Ew. I'm going to say mushrooms and pepperoni is or mushrooms and sausage. Those are my top. Pepperoni and onions?
Yep.
On regular
Yep. Try it.
GOAT animated movie.
Transformers the movie, 1986.
Really?
Yes.
I don't know if I have a GOAT animated movie. I mean, I guess if Pixar counts, Toy Story.
Absolutely.
Yeah, Toy Story.
Transformers the movie, 1986, baby.
GOAT unexpected tearjerker moment.
So it was when I was watching a movie. All right. You ever see Cinderella Man?
Bits and pieces.
All right.
With what's his name?
Russell Crowe.
Rachel Zellweger and Russell Crowe.
Renee Zellweger.
Yes.
So it's a true story. All right. It's about James J. Braddock. He was a boxer during the time of the Great Depression. Before the Depression came, his family was well-to-do, did very well. Depression hit, they're poverty-stricken like anybody else. He pretty much breaks his hand, has an injury, so he's out of boxing.
Wait, he was a boxer before the Great Depression?
Correct.
Okay.
Professional boxer, professional prize fighter. At one point, most things in this time, a lot of the boxing matches were all held out of Madison Square Garden in New York. They had their offices upstairs as well. That's where a lot of the promoters, the trainers, the reporters, whatever, would hang out. Okay. Russell Crowe wasn't fighting for a while. He was working on the docks. Very proud man, very good father, very good man. There's a scene where he has to go to Madison Square Garden, hat in hand, and beg for money to get the heat turned on so he doesn't have to send his kids to live with somebody else. And every time I see that, I cry my eyes out.
Why did he go to Madison Square Garden begging? He wanted to fight?
No, because he said, and he opens up and he says, takes his hat off and stands there and he says, most of you know me well that if I had anywhere else to go, I wouldn't be here. It's the last place he had to go.
I'm saying he was asking his boys for money.
They weren't his boys. He just knew there would be people there who knew him.
And he knew that they had money.
Yes. Now, some people didn't give him anything. But there were people, he did end up having enough money to get the heat and the electric turned back on.
So you're not using hat in hand as an expression. He actually
was hat in hand. Yeah. So that's where the expression comes from.
Woof.
And he actually had his hat in his hand and people were putting change and $1 in. And
your John is way more meaningful.
He was going around the room.
When Tony killed Christopher, I cried.
Oh,
the first time I cried. I mean, looking back at it now, like I know it was necessary. And there's other Tony Uncle Al and Tony Uncle Philly when he's throwing Tony B the what's the name party. That made me cry a little bit. Like that was something that my family did. But the first one that comes to mind, like I still rewatch it once a year. The whole series.
The whole series.
When the first time, not anymore, but the first time Tony killed Christopher, I cried. Goat fashion trend you regret.
Bowl haircuts.
Bowl? Did you have one?
I had an undercut.
Oh, I remember.
Where we lift the hair up and it got all shaved underneath. Yeah.
I don't know if mine is my fault. My mom, you remember my mom used to buy me elastic jeans.
Yes.
And
from what was that store called?
Oshkosh B'gosh.
No, there was another one.
Buster Brown.
But it was in Penrose Plaza.
Oh, I don't remember.
It was where everybody would go to get their freshman dance stuff. Everybody would go there to get their shirt and their vest.
Oh, well.
You know what I'm talking. What the hell is it called?
Yeah, I forget. I went to my first Irenaeus dance in a 3-piece suit, cuz. Yeah. I don't have any pictures of that, but people who were there.
You mean the Friday night dance?
Yeah, I went to my first Irenaeus dance in a 3-piece suit, like a strapper. That was her fault too. But
what was that like?
It was horrible. Horrible, Bo. Horrible. The jeans had graffiti down the legs and elastic, but like if your shirt was hanging over, you couldn't tell. But once people realized they were elastic jeans, like it was embarrassing. So that's I don't know if that's a trend or not, but it was. I
had a pair of mustard yellow. I had a pair of mustard yellow jeans at one point too.
Yeah. Goat holiday food.
Thanksgiving.
But like the food though, not the.
I mean, look, there's nothing. Event. There's nothing better than turkey and stuffing and mashed potatoes.
You don't even eat turkey on Thanksgiving.
Drenched in gravy.
Let me find out in the comments how many people actually eat turkey on Thanksgiving. We don't even eat turkey on Thanksgiving. I would have to say it's gnocchi or scuttle soup. My grandmother's.
Okay.
She's still rolling the dough. Goat album cover art.
Goat album cover art.
I mean, you think of the Beatles.
I'm always going to.
What's the one where they're walking across the street?
That's the Beatles.
But no, I mean, what's the name of the album?
Road.
Abbey Road.
Abbey
yeah.
Road. That's a classic. Pink Floyd. I don't know
with the Naked Baby.
That's
Nirvana.
Nevermind. That's definitely one. Pink Floyd, with the triangle and I think it's Dark Side of the
Prism,
Moon.
Dark Side of the Moon.
Dark Side of the Moon. That's one you always think of.
Yeah.
I'm just trying, and maybe it's just never something that really interests me. Like I never really picked up on album cover art that much.
But you identify with those though.
Yeah, like Pink Floyd, The Wall. That's another iconic one. You know, again, the iconics I know.
When I got jammed up, but that's why you know them.
Liquid Swords.
Yeah, that's a great one. That's a great one. That's a great one.
By Jizza.
Yeah, that's a great one. But that's why you know them.
Yeah.
They're iconic because the cover's phenomenal. When I was sick, when I was recovering from the Hep A, and I was like, there was a week or two where I was able to walk around the house, and I was like watching TV here and there. And I was sitting right where you are, and I was watching Angie Martinez started a series called Icons. And the first miniseries was about life after death. And so she interviewed Clark Kent and Little C's and a bunch of people who, DJ Premier, a bunch of people who were involved with life after death. And Puff wasn't there. She had the photographer that did the photo shoot for Life After Death. Back then you did a photo shoot.
Yeah.
Now you make a cover with AI in 5 seconds. But like she was saying, like, the guy was saying, like, Big had a cane. We had him walking in the cemetery, and there was a fog machine, and he had the trench coat on.
Yeah.
And they brought the hearse in, and they had to get the lighting right and all. Like the story, I don't think that's a phenomenal cover, but the story behind it made me appreciate it so much. You know what I mean? Like that for kids nowadays to even realize that you had to take a photograph at a shoot and you had to pay somebody before you could put your cover into the sleeve of the CD jewel, and for the photographer to still be alive and stuff. You know what I mean? Like it made me appreciate it. But I would say the three that you mentioned are definitely at the top of the list for sure.
Well,
I'm sure Madonna's got something floating around out there.
Probably. I just I don't think I ever owned or saw. Now, I will say this. You know, you did just mention somebody.
Who? What did I say?
You mentioned our friend Puff. So why this trial is going on, right? You know, I don't know if this is the trial of the century, like the OJ trial.
I'm completely in the dark with the trial now.
This is going to be phenomenal for me then. So what's been going on is we're starting to find out that there were all these sex workers involved. Escorts, what are called gigolos. So some of these actors from gigolos were now working for Puff. So when he wanted to have a freak off, he would bring in these male gigolos. All right. So hold on. Are you ready? There was a story that came out this week where I guess the one gigolo wasn't happy with how he was portrayed during the trial. So the one guy releases this statement basically saying, you know, I didn't know what I was getting myself into. I thought it was a regular job. Little do I know, at one point through the night, you know, I'm standing there and there's Diddy all oiled up, and he wants us all to get all oiled up. So next thing you know, it's me and about 5 guys full of oil standing straight up, and there's oil underneath us. And I look over to what looks like Eddie Winslow from Family Matters. Eddie Winslow from Family Matters was there. Hold on. He says, we all get in a line. Diddy lubes himself up. We all have to spread our legs. They put baby oil on the floor. And Diddy comes running. Yes! He slides underneath. Hold on, Bass. He slides underneath them, lightly grazing. He's lightly grazed. Hold on. He lightly grazes their balls with his hand as he slides by, going, wee! This is the shit.
You're making all this
out. No, I'm not. I
started by telling you I haven't listened to any of it.
It's on the internet. You're going to be able to find it. I promise you're going to be able to find it.
That's fantastic.
This is the kind of shit that was going on. So imagine, ready?
What happens to this man after the trial's over? He can't come outside again.
Cuz, did you see?
Him and Cosby got to go.
Did you see the first day of the trial?
No.
It was the most sad thing I've ever seen. Diddy went from being P. Diddy to Wheezy Jefferson in 6 months inside. He came out, he was fat as hell.
Wheezy's the girl.
George Jefferson. He came out, he was fat as hell, gray hair all
I
over
thought
the
that
place.
was AI. That's really him?
Oh yeah, he was gray as could be. Yeah.
Well, he was probably dying it for a minute, though, before all this happened.
Oh, I'm sure. But I mean,
God.
what I'm not understanding is you got all this money, right? You got the world by the balls. And maybe that's what happens. Maybe once you're so used to getting everything laid at your feet, right? You just you
Did you
get
hear Will Smith explain this? So he's been doing a press run, like old school. He's in his 50s. So like when he releases an album, he does a press run, and he went on Drink Champs, and they had a lot of different things that they were talking about. But he was saying like somebody at his level with all his money and success, the opposite of rock bottom is cliff top. And you have the same problem at cliff top that you do at rock bottom. You reach the end of money. You reach the end of love. You reach the end of sex. And all the money in the world, all the things in the world can't make you happy. He said the same thing Jordan said. Happy has to come from internal. You have to bring happy to the people you love. You can't get it from them. He said that. And he was saying like that was his problem for a while. That was part of like what happened with the Chris Rock situation is like
well, his wife was also banging a teenager. That happened too.
but it could have been because of how he was behaving at Cliff Top. Like that's the point. Like, and that goes back to what you're saying about some of these guys. Like when you reach Cliff Top, if you can indulge in the fact that that's a thing, when you reach Cliff Top, you need to be slipping and sliding with balls to feel normal again. Because everything is, you've mastered everything.
I truly think what's going to happen is I think it's going to be another Epstein situation.
Yeah.
I don't want to get into, conspiracy theories. Did Epstein kill himself? Did he not? But I think that if Diddy is convicted, I don't know that he's going to be able to handle it. He's such an egomaniac. Is he going to be one of?
Yeah, but this minus the killing, the stuff that goes on in jail is kind of his jam.
Yeah, but he's lived such a life of luxury and excess. Now he's going to be stuck in a cell for the next 30 years. At the end of the day, I think we're just going to have to keep following this. And I truly think that Diddy is in for a rude awakening.
Yeah.
From everything I see.
For sure.
Well, you know what, guys? At the end of the day, we'll be back next week with more Diddy Files.
Yes, sir.
Just remember, apparently, Diddy likes to use people's balls like a roller coaster. We'll find out what happens next week with that when the trial goes into its third week.
Good episode, man. We got a new drink out of it. Cheers, everyone. And episode 11 is in the can, cuz.